The mayor of Bavra compares himself to a certain literary character who is determined to improve the economic situation of the villager. Just like Petros Kamsarian, my goal has been to change this community. Petros Kamsarian, the hero of the Murat San novella titled The Missionary, failed to incite revolution in village life. He lacked Mayor Koryun Simbulyan's tenacity. He wasn't a man of the soil. He was a city boy. I've done all sorts of farm work since I was a child. I feel a deep bond with the soil, and that comes from my grandfather. Right on the border with Georgia, in Armenia's coldest region, Simbulyan grows buckwheat. He started planting the crop a few years ago. He had brought the seeds from Lithuania. The output was fantastic from the get-go. Half a kilo of seeds yielded 25 kilos of buckwheat. Simbulyan refers to buckwheat also as pyramid wheat, since the grains have the shape of a pyramid. He wonders why buckwheat, which is known as Hndgadzavar, or Indian wheat in Armenian, should be called that, when its yield is much higher in Bavra than India itself. Here in Bavra, we get yields of between 1 and 3 tons, whereas a similar amount of seeds would yield 900 kilos in India. The astounding success of growing buckwheat in Bavra has not only helped transform the local economy, but attracted assistance from international organizations. When UN representatives came to Bavra in 2006, we met and they were familiarized with my work as a farmer. Subsequently, an agricultural park was established here in the village and has since been a boom to our economy. The UN has also promised Simbulyan, who is now one of Armenia's most successful buckwheat growers, to provide his community with a mobile buckwheat processing plant. The components and equipment of the plant are already on their way to Bavra. Although winter is upon us, making it difficult to carry out construction projects, crews are working very hard. Agriculture in Bavra is likewise being stimulated by the Hayastan All-Armenian Fund, which currently is implementing the complete renovation of the community's dilapidated car garages. It's here that the mobile buckwheat processing plant will be installed. The renovation project's Argentinian-Armenian sponsor, as well as the executive director of the fund, have given the mayor their green light after visiting the site of the future factory. Benefactor Nishan Devejyan and the fund's executive director, Ara Vardanyan, were kind enough to visit Bavra to take a look at the structure. It was raining that day. They took a good look at it and then they gave their okay. As you see, the project is now well underway. In the meantime, a number of Bavra young men are being trained in Yerevan as operators of the buckwheat processing plant. Mayor Simbulyan is doing calculations to see how much land would have to be cultivated to meet Armenia's entire buckwheat demand. In order to meet nationwide demand, we would have to produce close to 9,000 tons of buckwheat, and for this, we would need to cultivate about 6,000 hectares. The mayor says that increased buckwheat production in Bavra, which sits at an altitude of 2,400 meters, will also give wing to beekeeping. Buckwheat blossoms are wonderful for making honey. A hectare of buckwheat can yield between 90 and 400 kilos of honey. The success of the buckwheat industry in Bavra, which has a population of 570, heralds a community-wide campaign known as Stay in Your Homeland. We should all continue to live in our homeland. Here in Bavra, the owner of each cultivated hectare of land is a family that wishes to live in this community, in this country. The support of the Hayastan All-Armenian Fund, all this is an incentive for us to stay here, to live here, to create things here. The construction of the buckwheat processing plant is not the only project in Bavra sponsored by the Argentinian-Armenian community. Nishan Devejyan always has a marvelous surprise for Bavra. It's thanks to his financial support that our community center, the children's playground, and now this factory have been made possible. And now the residents of Bavra dream of having an observatory. Although we have a harsh client, we're blessed to be a bit closer to the start. So, if we wanted to, we could also build an observatory. Just as he considers himself a missionary for the prosperity of his community, Koryon Sambulyan believes that Armenians can reach the stars, so long as their hands are joined in unity.